Hello, I'm Rabbi Elton from the Great Synagogue in Sydney, and welcome to From the Rabbi's Bookshelves. The foundational text of Jewish law is called the Mishnah. We believe that when Moses went up Mount Sinai, he received the law in two different forms. There was the written law, the Torah Shebechtav, what we call the Chumash, the 5 books of Moses. There was also an oral accompaniment, the Torah Sheba'al Peh, which was passed down from teacher to student throughout the generations. Due to persecutions in around the year 200 CE, that's 1800 years ago, Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, Rabbi Judah the Prince, decided to write down the oral Torah, and this is called the Mishnah. It's been studied over the generations, even though it can only be fully understood in its legal sense, in conjunction with the Gemara, which is its commentary and the debates about it, which come together with the Mishnah to form the Talmud. A very important and influential modern edition of the Mishnah is called the Kehati, named after its editor and commentator, Pinchas Kehati. Now, Kehati was born Pinchas Kehati in Poland in 1910. He went to the Warsaw Rabbinical Seminary, and made Aliyah went to live in Palestine, which became Israel, in 1935 or 1936. He became involved in Hapoel HaMizrachi, the workers' religious Zionist party, and in Bnei Akiva, the religious Zionist youth movement. In the 1950s, he was very instrumental in encouraging the learning of Mishnah every day by a wide group of people, and he began to write a commentary. That started in 1959, was completed in 1963, and in 1967 he won the A.I. Cook Prize for his commentary on the Mishnah. It's been published in many volumes in Hebrew, and also since then translated into other languages. It's a nicely presented and clearly presented work with a lucid and easy to read Hebrew commentary. He was dealing with people who made Aliyah quite recently and therefore couldn't cope with complicated Hebrew. Let me give you the very first Mishnah, the very first section of the whole of the Mishnah, which discusses what time one reads the Shema in the evening. The Mishnah says, Me Masai Korin es Shema ba'arvis. From what time can you read the evening Shema? Misha Shakonim, from the time when the priests Nichnasin echol b'trumasan, the time when the priests come in to eat their truma, the portion of grain set aside by the farmer and given to the priest. Well, that doesn't really help us. That's not a time of day. That refers back merely to a priestly practice. So what are we supposed to do with that information? Well, the Gemara would tell us, but we don't have the Gemara. This is just the Mishnah. And so Kehati himself tells us. He says, Sha'ah seisukachavim hi. This is the time when the stars come out. We know that time is when Shabbos goes out, for example. This is also the time when one can recite the Shema in the evening. So Kehati summarizes vast amounts of commentary and later writings and makes it succinct and easy to read and easy to learn. What's most remarkable about Kehati is that he wasn't a professional rabbi, he was a bank teller. He worked in a bank giving out cash. All this was done in his spare time. He really embodied the Bnei Akiva model of Torah v'avoda, both Torah and regular work. And his contribution to the study of Mishnah ever since has been absolutely immense. Thanks for joining.